Hey everyone, it's Jen with Spirited Saturdays, and this week we're continuing our topic from last week where we spoke about focusing on recovery versus focusing on sickness. That said, I might be sniffling a lot in this video, focusing on the recovery of my nasal passages. Anyway, so focusing on recovery versus focusing on sickness. Especially pretty relevant this time of year. You know, it is kind of a time that people take stock and people focus on how far they've come, where they were. You know, this is all kind of stuff we do to ourselves, but you can do this any day of the year, but where we were this time last year, or where we hope to be in a year from now, and everything like that. Really, you can do that, I mean, any time, but it seems to be pretty heavy right around now. So when you're doing that, if you're saying, if you're looking at yourself and wondering and thinking about where you've come from and where you want to go, make sure that you're doing it from a place of proactivity. Like, you basically, it's good to know where you came from. It's good to have honesty about that. It's good to say, you know, I was here, I struggled with this, because it's your history. You have every right to own that history, because a lot of your strengths came out of that, and were shown to you through that. So that's one thing. But I would say, when you do that, you also don't want to deny your history, and you don't want to avoid it. But when you do that, when you look back at your history, look at it from a place of, I was struggling inside. There was something going on that was a struggle, that was hard. Don't look at it so much in terms of symptoms. Don't look at it in terms of behaviors, because what you're acknowledging is the real stuff. That is what makes you really, really brave. Not talking about how much weight you lost or how many times a day you purged. That's a cover-up. That's the surface. That's the stuff that gives you a false sense of pride, so you don't have to think about the stuff that really matters. So when you're trying to show yourself how far you've come, yeah, it's okay to say, I used to purge, now I don't. That's great. That's wonderful. But what are you dealing with now that you weren't then? That's the goal of not purging, is just to feel. Any of using any behaviors. That is why they say you need to stop, so you can deal and feel and be alive in every sense. And that's also the hardest part of stopping. So you've been able to feel things and feel very uncomfortable on many levels of not being able to do the behavior, and of feeling whatever comes up. Not, that sounded wrong. Whatever feelings were hidden under those behaviors. You're feeling everything. So honor that. That's what I would say. If you're looking at the past, honor that. Honor the strength that it took for you to get through the real pain underneath. And take inventory. Okay, where are you now? You've gotten yourself here. Recovered, recovery, you know, what now? And and one way I feel like you can know that you're shifting your perspective, or that you've started to, is if you can look back at the behaviors, and you can look back at the illness and say, I don't even care that I was so-and-so weight. Like, at the time, it would have mattered a lot to me that I wasn't, below that weight. But it's looking to me like one big illness. It doesn't look to me like a competition. It doesn't look to me anymore like beating myself, like competing with myself or anybody else. And it's all bullshit. If you can say that, you can say, I was sick, and not have to justify your sickness. That's a sign of strength. That's it. Blanket statement. I was sick. Nobody has to, you don't have to prove anything. Nobody's looking for proof. They know you were sick. If they know, they're not looking to justify it either. So, okay, so now we're here in the present. Okay, now some things that have helped me get through and focus on the present and focus on being proactive and moving forward have been therapy, first and foremost, nutrition, with my nutrition therapist. She's an eating disorder specialist. I've been to support groups. I've been to dialectical behavioral therapy groups. These things can keep you in the present and also keep you proactive and goal-oriented. If you do something like dialectical behavioral therapy, which is cognitive-based, cognitive behavioral therapy, it's a type of that. And get more into it in the description, but it is, it could really rewire your brain to not only to form new tools and to form new effective tools, but also it can, by practicing something, by doing something, by working some kind of a skill interpersonally, what else? Mindfully, regulating emotions, but like by performing certain actions, practicing certain skills, you actually can rewire your brain to strengthen your desire to get better because you're regulating yourself through these cognitive tools. So with repetition, with practice, these can be highly, highly effective. Combined with talk therapy, combined with creative arts therapy too. The point is getting to that feeling, being present with the feeling, and then doing something about it. Accepting and then change, which can be achieved in a number of different settings. I say creative arts therapy because that really channels the feeling directly with no filter, which is great. Cognitive therapy isn't so much about, it's more behavioral, it's more thought oriented. But it all links together. So I would suggest any of those in group and individual settings. Support groups, obviously, too, just emotionally, just talking. Making sure that people in the group are recovery-oriented, of course, and speaking up when they are not or when you're getting a bad vibe. Okay, the other thing I want to put out there is there's an organization that I'm a part of called WeRFreED, which is Reaching Out Against Eating Disorders. They have a free phone mentoring system. I am a mentee. I have a mentor. I talk to her once a week. They set you up with somebody who has been where you are and as best as they can. They really do a thorough job at matching people. I've known other people who've been matched by them, and it's, for the most part, I've heard really good success stories, and I'm definitely one of those. I adore my mentor. I always feel like I go into that conversation thinking I'm going to have nothing to say, and by the end I feel like, whew, and I like can exhale. I've just exhaled the whole week. I don't know. It's just great. It's not, it's not therapy and it's not friendship. It's just, it's like peer mentorship. It's just, it's just they understand, and you can talk to them, and you can prepare. You can get ready for therapy by talking to them too. You can kind of go through the things that are important to talk about in therapy. It's really great. I would suggest it to anyone who's struggling at all in any degree, really. I mean, even if you're pretty well into your recovery, I think it could still work. I plan to stay with mine for a long time. Even when I'm, well, I guess you know what? I don't want to even project that far ahead, because right now I don't consider myself to be recovered, but according to my mentor, I'm a lot closer than I've ever been, and I'm a lot closer than I sometimes think. I spoke about that in my previous video, or in my own channel, about how sometimes I have a struggle with overeating, and that's what I'm working on with my mentor and with my therapist. So that's the only thing keeping me from saying that I'm recovered, and that's what I'm working on. So what else? Oh yeah, okay, so there's that. So I'll leave the link to WeRFreED below. Another organization I want to tell you about is Normal in Schools. Their main thing is that they have a peer written and performed musical that they bring to different schools, a educating musical about eating disorders. This organization is led by Robin Hussa. She has lots of different projects. This is just one. I'll leave you her email address. Like, if you're in school and you're feeling alone, which is something that I know that I felt in school a ton, major, like, basis for a lot of this, going on longer than it should have, actually. If I had something like this at the time in school, I would have been all over it. I would have really used it. So I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to put the link out there, and you can look up her other projects and her other resources that she can offer, that the organization can offer you. So yeah, Normal in Schools, RoED, Reaching Out Against Eating Disorders. And I don't really watch too many like eating disorder blogs, really, so I can't really speak to that. I also don't read that many eating disorder books, which is a testament to my own recovery, because I mostly did that when I was sick. So the fact that I now, and this is a totally individual thing, I'm not saying that people who are recovered don't read eating disorder books, and there are so many good ones out there. But I've flipped through a few of them, and I've networked a little bit with some of the authors, and I can tell you that they're probably amazing. I just can't personally say my experience with them. I'm sure Amy Lou is great, and I'll try to think of some others and put them down. But yeah, that's a testament, I guess, to my progress. Is that the reason I read eating disordered books were to be in my eating disorder. That was the reason that I read them, was to kind of have fuel for my eating disorder. And now I find that I get fuel for my recovery with reading about other things that I'm interested in. So that can come for everybody in different ways, not just books. So for sure, keep an eye out for recovery-oriented books. The same goes with blogs, or blogs and also video blogs. I can direct you to all of the Freedom Fighter blogs, the ones who have blogs. They're all awesome. But I don't know too many others, though. And in terms of video blogs, again, the same thing, only Freedom Fighters, other than Freedom Fighters, which, yeah, why even bother plugging that? Why? You're already here. Other than this, and I'm sure many others out there, there's one that is not about eating disorders, but that I have to tell you about, because this woman is just a powerhouse. It's the Annie Laney. I'll put the link below. She just has some amazing videos about positive body image, which I think everybody should see, whether you have an eating disorder or not. She just normalizes the body. She just makes it a non-issue, except to say that she loves her body. Oh my god, I highly recommend watching her videos. She has one great one where she's literally standing there in a bra and underwear, and she's not a skinny girl. She's a, I would say real, but that would be a little condescending to all the body types. All the body types are real, but she's just a regular person, and talking about her body like it's just no source of judgment. She loves it. She's fine with it, and she's a perfect example of somebody who is okay with themselves and accepts themselves and loves themselves. So we really need to watch her, because she's just really awesome. And I'll stop my gushing now. But yeah, so I'm going to link to the Annie Laney YouTube. I'll link to DBT stuff. I'll link to RoED stuff and Normal in Schools, as well as our blogs. So that's a lot of linkage going on. I hope you like. All right, that's that. I hope you had a lovely Thanksgiving, and have a great week.